Hello, welcome. My name is Maria Kiss, and I'm a founder of I Am Visible. And today we have a guest speaker, Gemini Da, and she's an author, take charge expert, and empowerment for women and children. Welcome, Gemini. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maria, I can hear you. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you. Yourself? Thank you for being a guest today, all the way from Mumbai. Isn't technology great? You're in Mumbai, I'm in London, and we can.
I was just wondering that isn't it so beautiful that just by a touch of button you can go into the drawing room or the living room of an individual and you can just converse with them. It's so much freedom, actually.
Yes, it is. It is wonderful. Excellent. So what we're going to talk today about, it's about women becoming visible, and obviously you are one of them. You have gone through different phases of your life and different adversities at different stages. So what does being visible mean to you?
So earlier before 6 years of my journey as a coach, it was just people seeing me and me feeling good. But now that I understand the true meaning of visibility, I want to shine like a star. So shining like a star is what I believe is visibility.
Wow, that is wonderful. That's really beautiful. Yeah, it is important because we as women tend to kind of take a step back and kind of just observe rather than kind of putting ourselves forward, don't we? Men tend to be more visible. They have it in them naturally, right. I think, from a young age. Yes. So would you mind sharing a little bit about your journey and tell us what challenges that you have to overcome along the way?
Wow. I mean, if I look back, just this lockdown has brought down so many nostalgic memories, so many things. And when I look down, Maria, I was an extremely lazy kid. I never got along with my mother because I used to not work. And I used to do everything at the back burner. Like even when there was an emergency, only then I used to do work. And for 16 years of my life, I have been that kind of a person. Then a tragedy happened right in a fraction of a second. I lost my father. I was a daddy's girl all my life. I was pampered. I was loved. I was everything I wanted. My father gave me. He was also the buffer between me and my mom. And I lost him, and that shattered my dreams, my life, everything, my comfort. So I became a bread earner of my family, and I started, intended to become an architect like my father. Eventually, I ended up becoming a fashion designer because I took my own decisions. And I went one day, I got myself enrolled rather than interior design. I got myself enrolled in fashion design. And I thought it must be all fun and glory and fame. But when I got into the course, it was like a military school. We had to go early morning. We had to do so many projects. We had to complete a lot of tasks. And I thought it would be the easy thing, but it turned out to be quite time consuming and a lot of energy. However, I had mentors like Hemant Trivedi, Nita Lula, Wendell Rodrigues. Wendell Rodrigues is an international name. Nita Lula is very well known in Indian film industry. She is very, very famous. And so I had these big stars, and my eyes brightened, and I was looking at them and I wanted to be like them. So my dreams became big. At the same time, I knew I was the bread earner of my family. So the moment I completed my studies, I was focusing on making loads of money to keep my mother secure. So in that journey, I traveled to Sweden, Norway, London. I was in London when I was 24, and I worked with Topshop. I've been to Allianz office. I've been to a lot of other offices, and I had a Swedish lady with me who was guiding me. And I learned at a very young age how to, communicate with people and meet people and understand people. And I went on to become a lecturer in Fashion Institute. So I used to teach voluntarily over there. And that was part-time. That was one of my passion, to teach teens and meet with them and all. And then I ventured into my own business, which I invested 40,000 rupees for my savings, since I didn't have a godfather or somebody to invest in me. I put in my own money, and that 40,000 grew into 130 crores in 10 years. I had not dreamt that I'm going to go that big, but I met my husband during the journey, and he was a Kashmiri Pandit, 5 years younger to me. we decided to try the knot after we worked together for 2 years, I think 1.5 years. And we had amazing married life. I have children, and I have a daughter who's 17 now, a son who is 14. And I think 2014, my marriage was going through a lot of ups and downs because I had anger issues. And during that time, I found out that my husband was cheating on me, and I decided to walk out of the marriage. So I had 15 crores of Indian value property, which I had to give up because he had everything, access to everything, because it was in business. And I quit the business, I quit the marriage, and I went through tons of litigation cases to fight the custody of my children. And I'm really proud that I didn't know L of law, I didn't know anything of law. But because a mother always stands up for her children, I rose like a phoenix. He thought I'll be, broken and shattered, and I'll give up my children because I won't have money. But I stood strong. I educated myself as a coach. I met my mentor, Mr. Afeen Khan, 6 years back. And ever since then, I have developed myself, and I learned how strong I am, how much more impact I can make to the people I know, and so many single women I can empower. And now my story, which was my weakness, becomes my strength. And I've been doing just that for the last 6 years. So now I'm an international speaker, YouTuber, podcaster. I went through domestic violence. And while I was going through that, I wrote my book, 9 Ways to Empower. So I was an educated, independent lady who went through this, which could not even imagine. And I went through financial violence. Everything I had was taken away, blocked, litigation. So I was in a place where I didn't have any money. And that is the time I was learning, and I started my new career, and I put all my expertise of fashion into helping business owners, women entrepreneurs, to grow their business. And today I'm proud that I'm coaching businesses to go global. So they've gone international, and they've made some amazing breakthroughs in their businesses. And when those women come and share with me, Gemini, you transform my life. Gemini, you help me. Gemini, I can do it. That is more fulfilling for me. So my mission in life, from making billions of dollars and crores of rupees, has shifted to helping billions and millions of lives that I can impact. And I want to specialize in working with only single women and women entrepreneurs. And of course, their children come as a package. So I love empowering teens, but that is a lot of permutation and combination of parent and child. So it depends on the parents and the children. If they both want to uplift their lives, then I work with them. Otherwise, women, I love them. I want to stand up for them.
That is amazing. I mean, it's an incredible journey, how all different stages that you went through. And isn't it amazing how we find our own strength when we face adversity? But it's kind of always within us. But if we don't need to use it, we don't actually. So what is your view? How can, obviously, adversity helps us grow, but sometimes it can be quite shocking and traumatic in our life. So is there a way that we can bring that strength out without facing a massive adversity in life?
So I believe that it's like, peeling an orange or a coconut, breaking a coconut. Mm-hmm. You really need to break free from the limiting beliefs, the the society has conditioned you with a lot of judgments, and we keep listening to them, and we keep following them. And sometimes they say you are a failure, and you do something and you fail, and that becomes an anchor in your head that, oh, I'm a failure. And you are carrying that baggage with you for so many years, and that's holding you down. So we are held down by the way we think. So I think the first step any individual, whether it's a man or a woman, can do is screen through the things that they believe about yourself. So I say, I can. The moment you say I can and you put words after that, that becomes your belief, which is very, very strong. So it's not just saying, but believing, actually believing that you can do things, and you get beliefs and proofs about yourself by doing. So most of us are very scared of doing things or taking actions which we have never done earlier. So that fear is there. So breaking your fears and your belief systems can really put you on the path of empowerment.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, because I think our brains are wired. We are still in fight or flight mode. So if we're not familiar with something, we get this alert, red alert, oh gosh, danger. But actually, if you think about how many dangerous situations do you get into in day-to-day life? Very few that it's like life-threatening.
So Maria, in my new book, I'm writing about how you can take decisions. And I have got a lot of research and a lot of people reaching out to me about the way they make decisions and why they are scared of making decisions. Mm-hmm. So I tell them, do you make decisions? And they will say, no, you know what, I'm really worried. I'm really this, that. You know, they keep on giving some or the other excuses of why they don't do decisions. And I say, every morning you wake up and you take your first breath, you know, consciously breathe. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So when you consciously breathe, then you take a decision that you have taken your breath in and you're leaving out. This is a subconscious decision. You keep making decisions, waking up from your bed, going to the washroom or going to the kitchen, calling up a friend or calling up somebody who's been in your business, you know. So it is a decision. Every single moment of your life, you take a decision. And that decision gives you a particular outcome in your day. So if you decide to wake up and go for a bath, you have a clean body. You wake up and you go into the kitchen and make yourself breakfast, you're nourishing your body. You wake up and communicate with somebody you love, you're nurturing a relationship, you decide. So these are the decisions that we subconsciously take. But when we have to take some decisions that are going to be labeled with an outcome and we consciously think about it, we are scared about it. So we take a lot of decisions. So in my book, I have completely structured as to why it is important to take a decision, good or bad. You know, the future will decide, or you can make a bad decision also worthwhile depending on what you do. So I believe that when I got married, it was an amazing decision. 13 years later, I realized this was not the best man I could have married, but those 13 years I had chosen. So I took responsibility of my good and my bad decisions, and that gives me the courage to take more decisions. So it's a vicious cycle, you know, in your brain. Some things hold you down, and that leads to a chain reaction in life, you know.
Yeah, but it's interesting, even not making a decision is making a decision, but we don't realize that because we made the decision not to make a decision.
Yes, completely true.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So who inspired you earlier in life when you started your journey? Did you have some role models that inspired you?
Yes, I always wanted to shine like a star because, you know, from childhood, my name is Gemini. And everybody used to ask me, what's the meaning of your name? And I said, the name of my meaning is I'm a star. I'm a zodiac sign. And every time I said I'm a star, I used to feel I want to be a star. So the people who, I mean, you know, I used to look at Mother Teresa and I used to just adore the way she looked, the wrinkles and, you know, her personality. That was really, really pure and soft and amazing. As a kid, I used to really look up to her. And I always wanted to contribute in life, but I never found a valid, strong reason to do that. And nor did, of course, I spent a lot of money helping people with clothes, with education. So I'm not talking about the money part. I'm talking about giving your time, your value, your commitment to contributions. That was not there. I used to just contribute out of compassion, out of people who used to come to me. So when I was making a lot of money, I gave away to my driver's children, to people around me, and I donated fabrics, I donated whatever I could. So I was always a giver and I loved giving, and that made me feel good. But when 6 years back, when I was going through a tough time in my life and I was just interviewed by, I was just seeing an ad on Facebook about Aafin Khan and I didn't know who he was. He was with my favorite actor, Hrithik Roshan. And I just went into his seminar hall like a magnet, you know, I got attracted. And when I saw that man speak on the stage and transform lives and husband and wife going home happy, a guy who was on the verge of suicide deciding not to kill himself and speaking to his wife and children, a lady who has lost her complete family in a car accident, was broken, crying, nearly fainted in the seminar, and him bringing her up, filling her with the fuel. And I was like, my God, this is magic. And that is the time I said, I want to be like this man. And I had new dreams, I had new hopes. And I said, yes, I want to make myself so valuable that I can be with like this man and I can transform lives. And 6 years from then now, I have got so many people to inspire from, to aspire from. And I am inspired by every strong woman who takes charge of her life, who believes I can do it, and who really takes responsibility of all the good and things that happen to her. So I inspire from small children to amazing superstars, but I inspire for my mentor. And yes, I want to make a difference like he does into the lives of human beings, you know.
Yes. It's incredible what happens when we take responsibility for our lives, isn't it? Because the tendency is to live in this victim mode. It's always someone else's fault. If we in that state, obviously we can't actually achieve much in life. We can't do, because all we do is focus on ourselves. But I think once we start focusing on other people and what difference do we actually make in the world and in other people's lives, I think that's what makes us as human beings. I think we crave for that connection, and contribution. Well, what is your view on that?
So Maria, when I was a kid, I was fat and I was chubby. People used to call me cute. So when I grew up with a body. I was very conscious. I'm fat and I have a tummy and I'm like this and I'm like that. And I used to try to lose weight, but it used to not happen because I used to only try. And I used to hop, skip and jump. So my self-image, even though I was a fashion designer from last 3 decades and I did so much in fashion and I knew so many celebrities, I still had this belief about me that I'm not that good looking. So the first time I was supposed to come on camera and I used to take an interview, and I had to, I have a YouTube channel where I've gotten more than, I think, 130 interviews of celebrities, human beings, normal people, successful people, different types of people who have taken charge of their lives. So my first interview was with my mentor, Afim Khan. And when I had to go in front of the camera, I was really shitting in my pants. I was so scared and I was so conscious about my cheeks, my nose, my eyes, my hair. Everything was an obstacle. This is not right. This is this. And I wanted to be the wow, like those glamorous people on camera. And then when I did the interview and I saw the interview, and when I got SMSs and WhatsApp messages and emails that, you inspired me, this was amazing, this is lovely, I realized it is not at all about how you look. It doesn't matter, even if you have a monkey nose or you have a joker nose, but if you can make that difference in somebody's life, you can hold a hand, you can be of support to somebody, that's what matters. And I go back in my memory and I see Mother Teresa and I see her wrinkles and I see her simple clothing and I see the kind of persona she has, and I said, what is this she have? She is in no way a glamorous person, but she is a shining star. I mean, she's an inspiration to so many human beings. And I think that matters, breaking your the way you look is not at all a perception or a focal point. It's only for your personal. You stand in front of a mirror, and what you can do best with what God has given you is, I think, more apt rather than wanting to be like somebody.
I think that's absolutely true, because in many cases with women, that's what holds us back, because we are the self-judgment. We always think, oh gosh, I look like this and I'm not happy with this. How am I going to look in front of the camera? And as women in society, we've been wired to sort of think that way, isn't it? For men, it's easier.
Because we worry what people will say. What if my aunt is going to call me? What if my cousin is going to laugh at me? What if my friend is going to make a comment on me? And there is so much fear about media and how you look in public. So how you would look normally and how you would look in front of camera are two different things. I mean, they talk in a different way, they behave in a different way, they are so panicky. So I think depends on, like you said, where the focus is. It really makes a difference.
Yes, but that's very important, where the mission comes in, isn't it? So when we make a big mission, so we come out of ourselves and we think about what can we do, and that's bigger than us, and then we forget about all these judgments and sort of focus on ourselves.
So Maria, as a child, we make those charts and we stick pictures and we write something and we make a board, vision board or a mood board. But you know what happens? The moment we start growing, we start thinking about these things as stupidity or very funny or very kiddish. But even today, whether it is a business tycoon or whether it is a homemaker or it is a CEO of a company, I make them do a vision board with me. It is mandatory in my course to make a vision board. And they look at me sometimes and they say, what is she talking about? I'm a CEO of a company. She's asking me to make a vision board. It sounds so kiddish. So there are a lot of people who have taken some very, very core important things as not important, and then they get lost in life, and then they come back complaining, unhappy, sad, and they are all focusing in the wrong direction. So I had a 21-year-old architect yesterday working with me, and he said, ma'am, I don't have money. It's a lockdown. If I invest in this, this will happen, that will happen, that will happen. So I said, just now you're eating your seeds. You have this much money. If you do not invest in your personal growth, if you do not invest it in the right place, this is going to go away, and then you will have nothing. So this is the time that you need to take a decision. You need to take courage out of it, and you need to invest this little money into your growth. And he said, what would I do with personal growth? I said, okay. And then we went on for a discussion, and at the end of the session, he completely understood where he was going wrong, and he spent 5 weeks of lockdown doing nothing. He was waiting for the lockdown to open up so that he could resume work, and now he gets the bad news that he cannot resume work for another 3 months. So that is the time he panicked, and he said, I've spent 5 weeks. What do I do now? So I said, okay, let's work out a strategy. And I mean, simple things in life make huge benefits, but people don't understand that.
Absolutely. And as you were saying, like when situation happens like a lockdown, and just sitting at home and waiting what's going to happen when you're going to go back and doing nothing doesn't help us. And that kind of puts us in that space, focusing on ourselves and feeling low, and then watching news that kind of just fuels that feeling. And we keep sinking deeper and deeper. But if you're actually doing things, even if it's reading or watching, I mean, there's so much stuff that we can for free on YouTube, amazing TED Talks, and that would really help us.
So I know this bunch, Maria, I know this bunch of mothers whose business completely shattered because they used to supply food to the school canteen. Okay. Now the school is shut for maybe 6, 8, 9 months now. And where are they going to supply food to? So the smart mothers got together, and during the lockdown, they created small packets of food or Crispies, and they kept it ready. The moment there was an opportunity to deliver, they just put WhatsApp messages, and they just went to each and every building delivering the orders of the complete society, and they did much more business than they would do in school.
Yeah,
isn't that smart?
That's
those
amazing.
Who want to make a way, so those who want to make money, those who are empowered, and those who have ideas or somebody to mentor and coach will not waste their time.
Yeah. So would you say it's very important to surround yourself with like-minded people that are ready to brainstorm and kind of support you?
See, my vision is to be global leader, global thought leader, help people across the globe and empower 1 billion people. So I need not wait for me to go on a stage and talk to 50,000 people. I can speak to people like you, and I'm reaching out to your audience. You are reaching out to my audience.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing that 2 strong women can do for others, you know. So you don't need you don't need crores of money, dollars. You don't need to do anything out of the box. If you have a vision and mission, the path will almost take place. So I remember you sending a message to me at 3 a.m. in the night in Indian time. And that is the time I was sitting and working. I was creating my programs. I was writing my second book. I was doing a lot. I had paper all around the floor, and I was working. And that is the time I get a messenger message from you at 3 a.m. in the night. And I'm like, oh, who's this? And that is the time I reverted to you. Normally, I do not check my messengers for 4 days, but I think we were supposed to connect. And so when you have a vision, the dots connect.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So what message would you have for young women that are kind of going through this? They don't know what to do in life. They don't know where to start, how to bring their talents and gifts out into the world. What would your message be?
So to the young women, I would say ki it is the beginning, right? They have all the right to make all the mistakes and learn from them. However, if you have somebody who has already achieved what you want, it's good to invest in yourself and have a mentor who will guide you so that you can avoid the stupid mistakes. Failure can come to almost anybody. but stupid mistakes are things that we do out of ignorance because we don't know. So for example, I would invest in a software where I have no knowledge. But if I had a brother or an uncle or a coach who was guiding me, darling, if you buy this software, it's going to cost you so many pounds, and this software is going to have this benefits, and these are the cons. So I could make a conscious decision of buying that software if I had proper knowledge. After that, if it didn't work for me, maybe I did something wrong. But at least I'm putting my money in the right direction. Similarly, I believe that young women have all the enthusiasm, all the time, and all the opportunities available. It's like when you're walking across the road and you want to catch a bus, your focus is on the bus. You're just waiting for that bus to come and you're rushing towards the bus stop or the tram that you want to pick up. But while you are running for the bus, you miss out on the opportunities that are there. You miss out on the cars, you miss out on the bicycles, you miss out on the people walking on the footpath, you miss out on the stores that are having offers. Don't you agree? When you're looking for something, you're just running towards it. So women need to really recognize, be aware about the surrounding. It's not necessary to hop, skip and jump into every shop. But while walking, if you have just noticed that particular shop, the moment you're looking for a discount, you say, Marks and Spencer, Top Shop. So you know where you're going, but at the same time, you're aware of everything around you. So it is always good to educate yourself. So even if you have a degree or you are a lawyer or you are a gold medalist or a PhD or you are from Harvard itself, you still need to keep learning and updating your mental software in terms of what you believe about yourself. Because every outcome will develop a belief in you. So I think to take charge of their beliefs is very, very powerful, because young women are very conscious about the way they look, what the boyfriend is going to say, what the husband is going to say, how the friends are treating them. So the outlook is always me. How do I look? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. But if they can change the focus and they can have some power beliefs instilled in them and they can keep working towards their personal growth, I mean, they can be billionaires or they can be the next Steve Jobs of the industry.
Sure, that's wonderful. And what about women in their 40s and 50s that are going through like challenges like what you have gone through divorce, no money, children, and they scared, like, what am I going to do? I have nothing and I'm kind of 50. And how can I take charge of my life?
So I have a lot. In fact, my tribe is women who are 35 to 50. Nowadays, young girls have started reaching out to me. They really love my videos and they enjoy my Instagram posts. And they're reaching out to me. My actual tribe is women who are 35 to 50 to 60. I've coached a 66-year-old lady to go digital. And I helped her and I created a program for her so that step by step she learned social media. She put everything out herself. I taught her. I empowered her. She was a healer and a coach, and her business went into dumps because everything became digital. Then she traveled to her daughter's house in, I think, California, somewhere in USA. And she continued with her workshop and she took testimonials, she took videos, and she was empowered. And she's now on her own. So from last 2 years, she's doing her own thing, which is amazing because she felt lost and she didn't know what to do. So all the women who are going through a challenge, I would want them to take responsibility that I am responsible for what happens to me. The moment they take responsibility of whatever good, bad, ugly has happened to them, they have the power to change it. And how do you change things? By changing the way you approach life. So they may be doing A, B, C, D, and the result is A, B, C, D. But if they do A plus B plus E, then the result will be A, B, E. So if they want a different result, they have to do a different approach. And to have a different approach, you have to become a different individual. You have to add to what you have. So if you've gone through a challenge where it is your fault or somebody else's fault, the first thing they need to take charge is to take responsibility. I am responsible. Whatever happens to me, I do it. So next time she will stand up in front of the mirror and say, I can change my life. I can do this. I can do this. I can do that. If she doesn't know what to do, she can ask for help. So you can take help, you can take advice, but the best thing is to take up a mentor. I'm not saying it because I'm a coach, but I have not died. I didn't commit suicide. I didn't go into financial failure. I didn't go into depressed children. I didn't have a horrible outcome of what happened to me for the cheating I went through and all the money that was taken away from me, was because I believed in myself that when I can make an empire of 130 crores, I can of course support my children and rebuild my life. And that confidence came from having a mentor and working with him. And whenever I used to get stuck, not emotionally or in my work, but in my practical work, which I was learning as a coach, I used to reach out to him and say, this is difficult for me. I cannot understand. Can you help me? And he did help me. So I believe that when you take charge, when you take responsibility, and when you make a decision to change your circumstances, nothing can stop you.
That is such a powerful message. I absolutely agree. It's first taking responsibility for your life and then having someone to take you on that journey, because what we don't know, we don't know. So we always do our best, but our best sometimes is not good enough, because if it's, obviously we do it in the best of ability, but it might be a wrong thing to do, but we don't know that.
Also, one more thing, when you're going through a challenge, there are 1,000 people who are compassionate with you, and they will come and give you the advice. And that can completely be the wrong thing to do in life, because advice is free and every person will give an advice from his point of view.
Yes.
But when you have a coach or a mentor, that person will say, this is the result you want. You want to make more money. You want to get out of abuse. You want to be self-sufficient. You want to empower your children. You want to take care of your children. This is the outcome you're looking for. These are the steps you must be taking to reach here. So an advice can only give you comfort. And when you're going through a bad time, believe me, comfort is really required. You want to go and cry on somebody's shoulder. You want to go and hug someone. You want that compassion. But that does not resolve you or solve your problem.
Yeah,
it's like a painkiller. You have a painkiller, you feel good, but it's not going to. You need to operate. You need to get rid of that virus. You need to get rid of that cancer body. And so having somebody to guide you, but that decision has to come from you.
Yes, I agree. And that's true, especially our friends and family, because they want the best for us. And sometimes our friends and family, they want to please us and what's best for us, and they think they're giving us support, but they're not objective. And they only hear our side of the story, but there's always two sides of the stories, isn't there? Especially if you're in marriage and things. So it's not just one-sided. So they would say things that will make us feel better, but as what you were saying, that might not be the best advice. They want what's best for us. They think they're giving us a good advice, but they can't be objective, because they want our best interest.
So our grandfathers, Maria, our grandfathers, our mother, our father, cousin, everybody cares for us. But that does not necessarily mean that they are well trained and well equipped to learn the human mind. So when I was going through my personal challenges, all my family were pressurizing me to patch up with my husband, let go, forgive him. It's okay if he cheated on you. It's no worries. You know, it happens all across the globe. Don't worry. Don't break your marriage, blah, blah, blah. So everything they said made sense, but something inside me was broken, shattered. And I was an independent lady who traveled the world. And I said, why should I compromise? Why should I live with a man who does not respect me? And I said, if my children would be exposed to this kind of a behavior at home, my children are going to learn this. And I don't want my children to be exposed to, this kind of values. And it mattered a lot to me that my children should have good values. And I took the courageous step, knowing that I didn't have any money to feed them. I didn't have anything that I would get from my husband after the litigation cases. But I had belief in myself that whatever it takes, even if I had to give up my life, I'm going to make sure that my children are taken care of. And that gave me the courage to walk out. That gave me the courage to fight. It was not easy. It was very difficult. And when I was out of my house and I was sobbing for nearly 4 days, and then I get a message that tomorrow is the last day of submission of your book. If you do not submit your authored book, you will not be part of the program that you're doing. And I was so scared of losing that one thing that I loved the most. that I sat for 3 consecutive nights and I wrote an ebook, the smaller version of my book, 9 Ways to Empower.
Yes.
I wrote it those 3 nights, and I was staying in a rented apartment, no money, no future, no clarity about what's going to happen. And that is the time I wrote 9 Ways to Empower. And later I compiled it and I added stories and I added a lot of things to it the more I learned. And that's how my first book was authored. So nobody can believe, people are complaining, I don't have time, I'm not sure what to write in my book, my book is not good, I'm not good writer. They had many things to say about not writing a book, but I had only one reason. I could not afford to miss out on the education that I had invested in, and that made me write that book in 3 nights. So the framework and the basis of the book was done in 3 nights, and later on then I executed the book into a proper compiled version. So your reason is really important, why you want to do things.
Yes, absolutely. Reasons are very powerful, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah.
So would you how would you describe confidence? How would you describe it in your, I know it's a difficult thing to
no, I think confidence can be seen from body language. When you're standing like that, when you're standing strong and you feel great, I think that is confidence, and that comes from inside. So when I believe that I can do something, that's a different confidence. So if you say, Gemini, I want you to go to the 12th floor of this building and jump. And when I'm standing on that edge, you can see how confident I am. But when I know that I have a harness at the back and I have a safety net over there and I'm strong enough and I have done a bungee jumping earlier, I can jump easily. So what I'm saying is, when you're familiar with something, you're confident of doing something.
Yeah.
But when you're not familiar about something, you're not sure about something, then you are scared to do something and your confidence is shattered. Or when you believe that the person walking with you or the system that you are following is awesome and guaranteed, then you're confident. So when you are in the first year of your engineering and you are in Harvard, you are very sure you're going to be an amazing engineer. But when you're walking into a school or a college which is broken down and shattered and doesn't have a great reputation, you walk in with scared, oh my God, I don't have money, I don't have this, so I have to opt for this education. I don't know what will happen with my life, I'm not sure. So you start with underconfidence, and when you start getting results and seeing results, you become confident. So confidence can be tweaked in a day. Yes. Using the right tools and strategies. So confidence is something when you're sure that you can do something and you are going to be successful, or you have belief in yourself, whatever comes in my life, I'm going to make it. I can. So I can is a power belief, and it also adds to a lot of confidence.
Yes, I agree. Its words are very powerful, and we're not actually aware that the language that we use in daily life, how much power it has on us.
True.
Yes.
I agree.
Excellent. Well, what are the last words of wisdom that you would like to tell our viewers?
I only say one thing in life is your intention has to be good. Whatever happens to you, take responsibility, take charge of your life, and have a person who has already achieved what you want as your mentor. And your life will be much, much more enthusiastic, more beneficial, more fruitful. And you have to have your vision in the right place. So vision, mentor, taking responsibility is taking charge.
Excellent. Thank you. That's really powerful. Thank you so much, Gemini, for your words of wisdom and sharing your journey with us. And hopefully many women will get empowered by this.
I think women are already empowered. It's just that they have let all the difficult parts of their lives and things layer their empowerment. You just need to clear that, and you can have a crystal clear vision, and you can get what you want in life. Anything you want in life, you can achieve. And that confidence comes from doing. By just thinking and dreaming, life does not happen. It is an important part of life to think and dream, but to apply, to take action is the most important thing. Decisions and actions will determine where you're going.
That's true. I think lots of the time we forget to take action. It's all about gathering knowledge and gathering knowledge. But if we don't apply it, it's like knowledge means nothing without action.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Day.
And I'd
My
like to
pleasure.
say thank you to your audience for listening to us.
Thank you. You're welcome.